How do you define health outcomes with GLP-1 patients?
Well, health outcomes, number one, is something that every trainer is going to need to do. In the history of my work as a personal trainer, I used to take a lot of notes, but we would put them in the files, and that was just something we would talk about with our clients in terms of goals and objectives. The health outcomes has to do with initial assessments, which we just spoke about in our last video, body composition, behavioral, range of motion, pain, strength, VO2, or some type of aerobic assessment, and making sure that you collect that information the first week of the program. And if the last week of your program is 20 or 30 weeks later, you want to make sure that you're collecting that same type of information on a regular basis so you can actually look at where they started and where they're finishing at the end of this first run program. Because outcomes is something that needs to be done in the health and fitness industry. The days of just writing things down and putting them in your iPad are pretty much over, because these people need to have a lot of information that is collected on them to make sure that we're going in the right direction, whether it's how much water they take in during a session, what their current body fat is, things like blood pressure and resting heart rate, etc. So all this information is collected, and it can be looked at from a single client, or it can be looked at from the entire group of people who are in your GLP-1 training program.
Thanks. And how do you learn more about health outcomes in GLP-1?
Well, I've got a great section on that in the book, so log on to medhealthfit.com and click on to the GLP-1 program.